So, something embarrassing and scary once again happened to me. But thanks to the fact my mother and father were making me crippled, cutting off medical care, cutting off teachers, and I had to kind of be an adult at a young age and learn how to survive on my own and stay alive for one more day, stay alive for one more day. I've learned a lot of things. Like, for instance, how to eat healthy, how to trade out juice for vegetables. Don't drink, don't get dehydrated. I even, like, for instance, yesterday we ran out of water. I try to drink plenty of water. But instead of letting it go until tomorrow, where we have water money, I grabbed a bunch of change. Me and my roommate put it together. I walked all the way, well, curled up using a cane, this cane here. I got all the way down there and I got a water. I strapped it to my back sideways, fell, squat, fell, squat, fell, squat to get it home. Why? Because we have no clean water coming in this building. It all smells like sewage and it's deadly and it'll get you sick even if you boil it. So you need to have water. Well, what happened today and what happened yesterday? Well, yesterday I ate oatmeal, rice, and a tortilla with asparagus. I had a V8 small vitamin shot, that's like the 6 ounce cans, and that was pretty much how the day went. I had oatmeal for breakfast, and then for supper, I had a larger amount of oatmeal, a little banana flavoring, asparagus on the side, a V8 drink. I had Marilax with water, and then I had a cup of peppermint sleepy time tea before bed, and one Benadryl with my regular meds. The day before that, I did rice, more asparagus. I still have a lot of more asparagus. I like my asparagus. I got green beans. I don't do corn, but somebody gave me a bunch of corn. I don't do corn. Stuff like that. And yesterday, same type of thing. Yesterday it was rice, oat, asparagus, and the day before that I finished off quite a bit of the V8 fruit and vegetable. But the one I usually have is the regular V8 carrots, celery, tomatoes, and they come in 6 ounce cans with one serving perfect. Try to have 1 to 2 of those a day if I'm not taking a multivitamin. And I also take Marilax every day. Even though it's very expensive, I beg and beg everybody who owes me favors, who a lot of people owe me favors. So, what happened today where my heart felt like it was going to explode? And here's the embarrassing part. Every single neighbor, upstairs, downstairs, across the wall, people probably on the other side of the building could hear me. But I know that at least 3 apartments could hear me scream in pain, but much louder. I mean, screaming in pain, my heart attacking me, screaming in pain. And then, even though I took a laxative, well, a light laxative called Marilax every day, exactly as prescribed, even though I have a GI doctor, even though I've gone to the emergency room several times, what can they do? They can prescribe me laxatives, and then they can go to the emergency room, give me an enema, and if I can't get it out, then they cut me open. And because I have seizures and a neurological disorder, and because my father will not let me get medical treatment, what I mean by that is when I try to get medical treatment, he misinforms my doctors and tries to tell them that my real physical health issues are mental illnesses, and this is because I have epilepsy. And instead of trying to get me help for epilepsy in the last 25 years, I also have movement coordination issues. My legs and arms don't work at times, and I have this taser-like feeling, what they call electrical impulses going through the nervous system. I have these things in my body, and I was never allowed to get medical care. Every time the teachers, doctors, or anybody tried to help, they would cut them off, move me to Texas, cut them off, move me to New Mexico, cut them off, move me to Maine, cut them off, move me to Mass, misinform the doctor, misinform the doctor, until they think everything is just some mental illness, or I'm choosing to do these things like fall on the ground or get bloodied up. So, with that disorder, if I go into the hospital in extreme pain with a blockage, and they give me an enema and that doesn't do the trick, they go straight for surgery because there is nothing more that can be done. But if I try to relax in a quiet bathroom, I have the enema ready, I have the same laxatives. I can get it out and actually get it out. But if I go to the hospital, thanks to my father misinforming them for so many years, every emergency room treats me like shit. They think everything I'm bringing in there is some mental illness. Like when I was bleeding into my testicles, I go into the emergency room. They think I'm trying to show off my testicles. They think it's a mental illness. And before they even look at my testicles, they go, "Oh, you need a psychologist, right? Well, have you tried that?" And then I go, "Can you take a look first, doc?" And they look at it and they go, "Oh, no, 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 oh God, we're sending you the wrong people. Yeah, you need a urologist and a GI specialist because that's coming from 2 inches of the belly button, but you should talk to your primary care to get the referral." So then I go to the primary care, but they don't have anybody, my regular primary care there, so they say they're going to give me somebody else. They're going to give me another type of primary care, but they're really playing a trick on me. I find this out later. I go into the primary care's office because I'm not going to wait 6 months with blood pooling in my testicles, and I ask them for a referral to a GI or urologist, and they go, "Are you sure that you don't want a psychiatrist?" And I go, "Yeah, I could have a psychiatrist, but I'm only going to talk about a lot of the stuff that's bothering me, but right now I got blood coming in places." So the guy, I go, "You're going to take a look or not?" And he goes, "Yeah, we'll take a look first." So I show him and he goes, "Oh my God, this is real." He goes, "No, you don't need a psychiatrist. I don't even know why they gave me to you. This isn't my type of stuff. I'm not a medical doctor like this. Yeah, we're going to get you the referral." I find out that they just wanted to see if this was some psychological bullshit. So they're wasting my goddamn taxpayer dollars. They're wasting my time while I'm needing actual medical treatment. Why do they keep on wasting so much time just to say, "Oh my God, this is real. Yeah, you need this." Why did they send me to you? You need a real primary care. Why does this continue to happen? Because of my father and mother. They're trying to cover up a crime by making up mental illnesses so nobody will listen to me. No, and I have a funny voice, as you can hear. And if I'm in extreme pain, I talk, yeah, I'm bleeding internally, yeah. I sound all weird because I get high pitched in the nervous system, and I gotta force words through the nervous system to speak. It's a it's what they call a speech, oh no, oh my God, a speech impediment from a neurological disorder that causes seizures, and I have problems with losing the ability to use my arms and legs properly. I also lose speech. I get a high-pitched voice, lots of that stuff, but it doesn't make the words I'm saying lose their meaning. If I say I'm in pain, or for instance, my urine turned black. Something was wrong. I video recorded this coming out of my penis. You can't fake blackish green urine coming out of the penis. Now, I compared my urine sample to everybody else, whoever got ill that I could find, and apparently kidney infection is the closest, or some disease you get from anesthesia, but we know that's out of the question. So I take this information and I try to pass it on to the doctors. I go to the emergency room. By the time 2 days later I go, I've had black urine twice, 12, maybe 20 hours apart. And then when I'm in the hospital, the third one is wicked, wicked dark brown, almost like hepatitis color. But my liver is fine. I've had them check that every 6 months. They say there's nothing wrong with the liver. No hepatitis problems, no high hep count, no liver failure. That's not the issue. But they don't take it seriously. Why? Because they think I'm going in there to show my pee and balls. Like that's something I would do. No, it's not. God damn it. I was out having seizures, being found on the side of the road in the middle of winter in Lowell. "Oh, he's sober, but we find him unconscious. He's not sober, we find him unconscious." And then they just write down, "I want to stay there. I like hospitals," or something. Like I'm doing this as a game for fun. Why would they do that? Well, they have reports from my mother and father that everything is a mental illness. I'm just mentally ill. I'm just somebody who should just go to work, and this is all some game I'm playing. Cutting off all medical care. My insurance won't pay for shit. And I'm 32 goddamn years old. But here's another one. My mother passed away in 2011. Her name is Patricia. My father's new side piece, named Alice, tries to pretend like she knows me or she's been my mother. Now, I've spent a couple vacations with her, like summers. Like I spent one summer in a gunkwit at the age of like 24. But that only was through summer. I got a summer job. They had me pay them. They got a little drunk, flipped out at me and my brother. They wouldn't take a breathalyzer. I had no alcohol in my system. And we just got the fuck out because they were way too drunk. They were out of control. And my father's 89. And he doesn't want to take responsibility for any of his actions. And anything that goes wrong in the house, he makes up a fantasy and blames me. That's it. Everything's my fault. Everything. Everything's a big fantasy with him. Like, for instance, one of their grandchildren, or my father's new side piece's daughter, went to prison for having a bunch of drugs in her car. But she has a daughter to take care of. So they send this daughter to my father to take care of with his new wife. Bad idea, because they're going to neglect this child. They're going to let this child get mentally ill. They're going to let her cry herself to sleep for a week. They're going to say, oh, she'll run out of tears eventually. Let's just leave her up there to cry. Stuff like that. So I am also there. I'm spending the summer there. I just got out of 3 months taking lessons, getting sober from alcohol. I'm indoors now, so I was indoors. I needed a place. I kept on trying to drink my seizures away with Ativan, alcohol, whatever made them go away. I knew that was a bad idea, so I walked into the emergency room after several falls, after several injuries. I even tried to go in the rehab several times, but most of it was alcohol. And most of the time they want to hear about opiates, so I just add that on that I used to do opiates, and I haven't, but never that long. It's always been alcohol or trying to treat this illness with something. So I thought that that might work, and it did. I went into a halfway house, and then I went there, and I was hoping to move into just some apartment. But they were having a lot of drinking issues, some problems with Alice's family. Then they had some kid living there, even though they're almost in their 90s. I mean, my father's was like in his 80s, and they're not capable. They couldn't even, when they were younger, they even couldn't do things with me to keep me safe. So we know that's not great. But I'm upstairs in my room. I have pants on. I got my socks on. It's really hot. It's summer, so I have no shirt on. I'm watching TV. I turn the TV off. I'm going to sleep. Now remember, I have work to do. I have to figure out what's going on with my medication. I got my own life to live. But every night there's a girl crying in the other room for her mom. Well, her mom's in prison. She's about, what, 5 years old, 6 years old? And I'm hearing this every night as my father and his wife let her try to cry herself to sleep. Now, she gets out of bed, runs downstairs, and then they sleep on the floor. But none of that is necessary. You just need to comfort her for 5 seconds. Say, your mother will be back. It's okay. We're right downstairs. I promise you, your mother's smiling and she's ready to come back and hug you. You're going to see her soon. Something like that would be enough, and then you go back to bed. Now, if she cries again, you got to do that a couple more times. You got to tell her, okay, well, you keep us awake, and we're going to have trouble helping both of you, just a conversation. But that's too much for my father and his wife. They want to whip it out of her. They want to have her cry it out. They want her to bawl out until her eyes are red. They want her to just shut the hell up already. Kind of like when I was a kid. I was about 8, 9 years old. I just got trafficked around the country, and my nervous system is destroyed. So we're in Algonquin, Maine. I'm missing out on 2 years of education, plus an additional bunch. And I'm like 8 years old, I would say, maybe 9 at most. Probably closer to 8 or 9. And we're in Algonquin. They're buying and selling properties. My mother is homeschooling me. We go at nighttime to see some fireworks show. Now, I don't know why it seemed very chilly to me this night. I mean, it's summer, but I live in Rochester, New Hampshire now, and during summer, I had the window open. It was so cold, I was seizing. So, okay. So I'm looking at the fireworks, I'm hearing the bang, and it's a little windy out, but I don't know what that means back then. I don't know how to describe it, and it's not like they're helping me fix my nervous system so I can use it better to describe things better. Instead, it's kind of like barbating, abusing with barbation, or just fucked up shit. I don't even know how to call it. It's weird and unusual abuse with medicine and mental anguish. Stuff like that. Just fucking crazy. But anyway, so I'm 9 years old, and I fall to the ground, covering my ears, shaking. Like, I want to go home. I want to go home. This hurts. This hurts. I want to go home. I want to get me out of here. Now, if any father or mother saw their child go to the ground on their knees, covering their ears, screaming and crying that they're in pain, during a fireworks show, when it's nighttime, like maybe 9 o'clock at night, it's night, it's a little chilly. I mean, people are wearing like windbreakers. I'm not. There was nothing I brought. I'm just in a short sleeve shirt because I'm thinking it's like summer. I'm only 9. But my father and mother were smart enough to kind of keep a windbreaker on, and they're doing their thing, and other people got windbreakers on, so that tells you what temperature it is. And I'm in the ground, shaking, my ears covered. My mother goes, "It's just a mental illness. Leave him there." And so they try to continue watching the show while I shake on the ground in pain. This is the attitude they have with children. Just leave them to hurt up there. Just leave them on the ground during the fireworks show. After many minutes have gone by and I'm suffering quite a bit, and I'm screaming on the ground, and people around them are probably looking at them at this point, then they decide, oh no, it's been a couple minutes. He's not going to shut the hell up. Let's grab him and put him in the car. Then they try to give me a bunch of speech about, you know how much work you are? We were enjoying that show. Do I get to go to an emergency room? Do they try to have a good conversation at the real doctors about what happened? No. My mother brings me to a psychiatrist and tries to say it's autism. Well, yes, autistic people do have problems with loud noises. They do. But that's not the problem. I can do loud. I can play my radio loud. I can do loud. But certain combinations, like loud flashing lights with cold, or certain types of loud noises like screeching brakes or nails on a chalkboard mixed with a flashing light, causes something in my spine. Even at work, I try to I put my hands to my ears as I go across the gas station to hit the gas alarm, because it goes beep, 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 like a fire alarm, and you have to do this a couple times, like just a couple times a week. You have to hit this red button and it turns it off. But it's loud because the red button you gotta hit is right below the speaker, so you have to come closer and closer to this noise. So I close my ears when I'm out of sight by putting my hands over my ears and then hitting the button quickly. I still do this today to try to prevent the taser-like feeling from getting worse in my back. Nothing to do with autism. And when I'm numb on the hands and feet during summer, when I get my nervous system back from heat, I still drop phones. I still have problems feeling the nerves in my hands at those times. But if I told my father this, you know what he'd probably do? Probably be like, stick pins through your hand and show me. That's not how it works, Dad. And he'll just come up with some fool's logic bullshit to hurt me some more. And if he doesn't understand it right from the get-go, it's all a lie. Let you get hurt some more. Let's hurt you some more. Let's cut off this. Let's cut off that. This is not somebody who wants me to succeed. This is somebody who sucks Social Security dry, that has his son's name on it, that's supposed to be helping him move into his first apartment. Not only that, he cuts off the classes his son needs in a housing program. He cuts off the housing program by trying to use the money for paying for his big house when it's illegal. He's supposed to be giving it to the rent people. Apparently, there's paperwork that goes with this housing where if these people are on Social Security, it has to go to rent, and that's a legal way. But my father lied to the program, lied to the DMH worker, lied to Social Security, and lied to me, so he could keep the money in his control and use it to continue paying for this big house in Chelmsford. As soon as he loses control of the situation, he's about to go to court. I bail him out. But he sells the house to try to recoup my Social Security money as well as his money, obviously, he put in. My mother passes away because she's drugging and pilling. And then he doesn't want anybody to know what's going on, so he continues to lie to the family and just blame me. Everything is Zach's fault. Everything is Zach's fault. He's a drug addict. He's mentally ill. It's all him. It's all a fantasy. It's all of this. It's all of that. Meanwhile, I suffer more. 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 I lose this part of my body. I lose this part of the body. I can't do this. Like driving. My father knew that there was no way I should be driving. He did not want me driving him around any case. And mental illnesses have nothing to do with driving. He might go, oh, well, no, I'm afraid because of his mental illness. He might drive us off the road on purpose. There's no such thing. But when he makes statements like that, it makes people question me and then causes harm to me. Because he's telling fantasies like I would do something like that. I don't do anything on purpose but help people. I try to make situations better for everybody. I'm used to it when living in my household, living in programs, living in New Mexico where we just wandered out in the woods and a bunch of kids would get hurt. I'm used to trying to help. What happened this morning could have killed me. And anybody else would just go to the GI doctor, get some medicine, get looked at, get better. If they had a hernia, they'd go get better. They would schedule hernia surgery, schedule it. If they had a seizure and they were bloody on the side of the road, the neurologist would prescribe them epilepsy medication, write down when it started, write down the cause, boom, bang, done. But see, I don't get any of that. My father made sure that I would be in pain and suffer no matter how much help I asked for. And they always cut it off. When I started getting help from the Department of Health and Human Services in Rochester, and Beth asked for my father's number, and I told them, my father will lie, manipulate, and try to make it so you're permanently cut off, and I get nothing. And that's exactly what he did when Beth called. When they asked for my neurologist's name and phone number, Dr. Hotch, who was coming up all the way from Massachusetts, who was helping me so much, right when I gave him the number, he stopped coming up from Massachusetts. Is this stuff a coincidence? No, absolutely not. My father makes sure to tell them I'm mentally ill. It's all some fantasy. It's all made up. No, no, no. Don't waste taxpayer dollars on him. Can you prove this? Yeah, I'll send you all the paperwork. But it's not proof. It's just my mother and father misinforming a bunch of psychiatrists and then drugging me so I look weird. And I also have other illnesses that aren't being treated that nobody's telling the doctor about. They're not telling him about the overdose at age 5 to 7. They're not telling them about the loss of education. So instead I look slow and mentally ill. I can't do math. I can't read. I can't write. And then they go, he's mentally ill. He's slow. He's retarded. He's whatever. Meanwhile, was that true when I first met them? No, I was at the top of my class. Everything was moving forward. Then the teacher wanted me to go to second grade, but my mother had a hissy fit, and she was already starting to try this bullshit. So she kept on telling the teacher to hold me back, hold me back, hold me back. The teacher argued with her, no, 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 no. Eventually, my mother bothered her enough where she said, okay, I will hold them back, but I have to write a note here for every other teacher that Zach was moving forward with his education and you had me hold him back. And then this note followed me as other teachers knew that my mother was doing this. Also, during the overdose, the teachers saw a sudden change in my body. I couldn't talk right. My writing changed. The way I walked, the way I moved my body, my whole body changed. I'm sucking on my skin, trying to figure out what's different. I don't know why I'm doing all this. I'm only 6'7", but my mother's calling the sucking on the skin suicidal behavior. My mother tells the teachers I don't need any help, but they want physical and speech therapy. They want her to do something, bring me to a neurologist, try to do something, but my mother puts me in ballet as a distraction. I'm doing something. Then the primary care hears about it, and now my mother is worried. My father comes with a job interview. A job offer, but he doesn't want to move to Texas. My father doesn't want to pick up and move. But my mother goes, yes, let's move. I want to move. Yes. Because she sees this as a way to avoid responsibility and take evasive action. So yeah, I'm going to die soon of something simple, like a blockage. I'm going to have a heart attack on a toilet, or a seizure on the side of the road when all I needed was paperwork and epilepsy medication. That's all I needed, something simple. And then they tear me apart and lie about me to the point where I gotta die at the age of 32.